Welcome back, our 1 million, well, not quite 1 million viewers, right here on the Mike Rogers Show. I'm Mike Rogers. Today we have Mr. David Weiss, world famous writer, and now he's a director of very, very, very famous animes, and he tells you how you can get into Hollywood. So let's check it out. David Weiss, welcome. And today, our final episode with David Weiss, animator, writer of animations and director, and he's now working for 10 Animation Magic. What? Anyway, let him explain it to you. Let's give a big hand to Mr. David Weiss. Yay! Thanks for being here, David, so much. Thank you so much.
Everybody. Oh, such a pleasure. You know, it's been a whole day since I've seen you, and I've been working so hard in that 24 hours. I didn't have a chance to change shirts, but I was able to go up to the control room, and so I hope it's okay that
I've changed shirts because I have a whole week's worth of these.
That's so
like
smart.
Rogers.
I only have one of those. You have to give me some more of those because I use that thing. I sleep in that. I work out in it. I pick up.
I'll give you some more.
Okay.
You need an L size, right?
L's good. Medium is good too. Both are good.
In fact, we're just ordering new ones now.
Order me a couple. I like those shirts.
So, anyhow,
chicks dig them. You know Mike Rogers. Oh my god.
Did you
get me one of those shopping bags? A Mike Rogers shopping bag? That would be so cool.
Actually, I've had several girls because when I have an event, I give them away to the girls.
Yeah.
Only. And I've had several girls write to me, tell me they got on an elevator with the bag and some guy said like, "Oh, do you listen to this Mike Rogers show?" And they're like, "Yeah, I listen to that show every week." And then I'm like, "What? I'm on 5 days a week. What do you mean every week?" Anyway, so you're gonna give me a lesson in how to use this Zoom thing. Like, my background is always this boring background, David.
Let's change your background.
What do I do?
I'll tell you, Mike, I'm glad you asked, Mike. I can help you with that. If you follow along with us, if you look at, I wonder if I could share my screen. Can I share my screen? No, I cannot.
No, you cannot, but wait.
You can make it so I can share my screen. If you know how to do that, go to participants. See participants down there? Now we're really boring people. People are starting to fall asleep.
Just tell me. I'm going to put up little icons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So if you go down to participants, you can do where it says who's on the show. You can click on me. It says more. And then you say, you could say make co-host. And then I can share the screen.
No, I don't want to be the co-host, David. This is my show.
Not safe. Okay. Anyway, meanwhile, go down to the stop video thing and click on the arrow next to the camera.
Okay.
And then say choose virtual background.
All right.
Click on that. And then do you see some backgrounds?
Yes.
See some background? Click on one of those.
I left my heart in San Francisco. Oh, well, that's so simple.
And now I'm in a black hole. You went to San Francisco, you changed the universe and you put me in a black hole. See, you can't do stuff like that without affecting the rest of the world, Mike. You can't just click and go to San Francisco without some ramifications. Look what happened.
I heard that San Francisco isn't as nice as it was when I was living there.
It is if you're a burglary tourist. If you want to go do smash and grab, fly in to smash the glass of a jewelry store and take off with all their jewelry, then it's great. The mayor up there and the state attorney and the DA and all those guys thought it was such a great idea to let everybody to just not prosecute anybody for crimes. It's really working out great.
Yeah, I don't really watch the news, so I have.
And I said
wait. So David, you I haven't owned a television set in 25 years.
Well, you and 85% of the world now, nobody has television sets anymore. We're all watching our iPad, or my watch. I don't have. And I sometimes just use my neural implants. I just Oh, hang on a second. I'm checking out Netflix. Oh my God. Have you seen this anime on Netflix?
No. So people are always saying like in yesterday's episode, you said that you were mentioning famous people to me, and I wanted to say, I'm sorry, David, I have no idea who you're talking about.
But look, a lot of people haven't heard of Joe Biden. It's true. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. So there's one thing that I think a lot of people would like to get from you, your advice, how to break into Hollywood, how to get a job in the business, how to get paid, and how to become famous. Because, you know, you're a modest guy and you may not think so, but you're a famous guy.
Not a famous guy. No one's heard of me. But my the projects I've been privileged to work on, thank God a lot of those have become famous works. And I feel really lucky, which, by the way, I don't believe in luck per se, but the point is a lot of it is out of your hands. That's what I'm saying. So what advice do I give? Because I will frequently lecture at a college or something, and people ask this question, how do you do it and stuff. And I think, first of all, you got to make sure it's a passion. It's something you love. I myself have always been a kid that was putting on a show. I'm thinking about this director job now. I'm going back to high school. What I did best in high school, and it's what I'm doing on this film. And I shouldn't have been a writer all these years, but it took this long for me to get this opportunity. I had to kind of earn the right to do this. I'm a showman. I like putting on a show. I like timing when the curtain comes down and what the audience is going to see first when the curtain comes up, and what the lights are going to look like, and when the music's going to start, and when the voice is going to say live from Television City in Hollywood. All that stuff. When the music kicks in, when it fades down, that stuff exhilarates me. It always has. And if you ask my friends growing up, the neighbors, I was putting on shows in the living room. I was organizing all the kids in the neighborhood to put on a show in the living room, and we would sell tickets all week. We would rehearse for a week or two. We would cut out jokes from Highlights magazine and act them out. We would do pantomimes, and we would do lip syncing, and it was a show. I was putting on basically a comedy variety show in the next door neighbor's living room, because they had an archway that we could hang sheets up and it looked like a stage. I've been doing that my whole life. I love putting on a show. So you need, first of all, to have a passion, a fire in your belly for it. If you don't love this, you're not going to make it. Because, I mean, you might, because again, some of it's out of your hand. If God wants you to be famous in Hollywood, nothing will stop it, except you not participating in that. And if he doesn't want it, it ain't going to happen. So don't bother. But I think one of the ways you can determine your higher power's will for your life, I heard some famous rabbi somewhere say basically it was the intersection of your passion with a need in the world. And the world needs to be uplifted, and it needs a laugh, and it needs to take itself a little less seriously. And I have a passion to do that. Perfect nexus. And in fact, yesterday the rabbi at the synagogue was saying there was a famous passage in the Talmud, which is one of our great works, ancient works of wisdom. It's like a 64-volume set of books, super thick. And there's a story in there where these two famous rabbis the famous rabbi was walking along, and I think Elijah the prophet or something comes along to visit. And, it's a very mystical story because he's long since gone. And the rabbi says, hey, who's going to be in the world to come? Who's going to have a place in the next world? And Elijah the prophet says, oh, let me see here. Well, yeah, here's a yeshiva where they're all studying the Torah and the law of God, So he says, yeah, sure, of course everyone there going to be. He says, no, that's not what I was thinking. Over there behind it. See those two guys over there making jokes and everyone's laughing? What are they? Those are comedians. He said, those comedians are going to be in the world to come. They have a place in heaven for them when it's done. And he says, what are you talking about? They're just comedians. He said, no, they're making people smile. They're making people laugh. They're lifting spirits. They're bringing happiness into the world. And we need more of that. And I was like, yay! I'm not the class clown is not, just wasting everybody's time. I mean, he is to a large degree, and I got sent to the office a lot. So anyway, that point is passion with a need. So if you don't love it like crazy, people come and say, yeah, I was thinking about getting into show business. What do you think about that? I'm like, don't. Because if you're only thinking about it, you're not hungry enough. It's got to be something you can't, my writing partner would tell that PT Pro. It needs to be something you can't do anything else. This is the only thing you want to do. you're going to need that hunger to keep going, because it's going to be almost impossible to succeed. You're going to have to keep getting up and getting up. If they knock you down, they're going to knock you down. You got to get back up. You won't keep doing that unless you love it. So that's step one, is to just check. Do you have that passion? Step two is, do you have some talent? And you don't have to be great. You don't have to be super good at anything right now, but you need to have some evidence that you're good at something in show business. Someone has to go, hey, you're really good at that. Hey, I love that story you wrote. Oh my God, when you were singing that song, you had something special. You need to get some affirmation that you're on the right path at some point. You know, in my career, I had a lot of failure, and I still get some failure. You know, one of the things I hate about writing is that writing most of the day is failure. Most of what you write isn't good enough. You have to throw it out and rewrite it. And you keep a few things, you rewrite it, you keep doing that and doing that. After a year or two, maybe, thank God, finally it's a rough draft, and then you rewrite the whole thing again and again and again. Writing is all about is pushing through the failure, you know, and learning to enjoy that takes the failure out of the equation, and now it's just process. And I liken that to going into a mine shaft as a miner. I give a lecture. You can go online, by the way, if you Google my name and Google video, maybe add Torah Cafe to the equation, torahcafe.com, and then add my name. There's a lecture on creativity that has pictures and stuff about mining. And what you're doing is you're going into the mine every day and you're bringing out buckets of dirt. And that's holy work, because you've got to go through all those buckets of dirt to find one little gem that you can use. And put the gem over here. Then you go back in the mine for a couple of weeks and pull out another little gem. And there are geniuses out there who just go in and pull out gems. I'm not that guy. What success I've had has come from just smashing my head against the wall. I just keep going into the mine, and eventually, and usually with the help of others. I'm not a solo guy. I've had writing partners. I work collaboratively. I've worked with great teams. I've been really fortunate to work with wonderfully talented people. There are geniuses out there that just write by themselves in a room and turn it in, and it's amazing. And I envy that skill. It's not my skill, but I am a gifted collaborator. And my dad used to say, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. And I thought that was an insult, because he was a master at several things. Mm-hmm. But I'm a master at being a jack of all trades. And my wide variety of knowledge, I can edit film, I can edit sound. I'm great at editing sound. I'm really good at editing. I'm great at editing picture. You have to be a full-time editor to be great at that. But I'm a solid editor. I know when it's working, when it's not. I'm a gifted communicator, I think. So you have to know your skills, is the point, and know your weaknesses. But so you've got to be dedicated and keep digging. Don't give up. But you need affirmation. I got that affirmation. I got into USC Film School. Hard to get in there. I got selected for a scholarship for my writing. I got a scholarship.
Wow.
Comedy. I got the Jack Nicholson Directing Fellowship, which was a $10,000 grant my senior year, my grad school year. And that affirmation, right, tells you you're on the right path.
Wow. So did you take that $10,000 to Las Vegas and parlay it into like more money, David? That's what I would have done.
Oh, I did for sure. I turned that into $6.4 million. Did you hear of a little company called Netflix? I started that with that $10,000. And then this guy, Hastings, bought me out, and I don't know what he's done with it. Maybe it's turned into something, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I put that money into my graduate film. And the graduate film got me an agent. So the agent made me feel like, okay, that's affirmation. They saw my film. They wanted to represent me. Then it got zero work. The agent couldn't get me anything because I was a crazy born-again Christian at the time. I was raised Jewish. I wandered out of Judaism about 18. And for about 15 years, I was a very dedicated Christian. And so I made a Christian graduate film, and nobody wanted to get involved with that stuff. So nothing was happening with my career. So you have to keep trying and trying and trying. And then I got hired by Don Bluth to work on All Dogs Go to Heaven. I think he liked the Christian overtones in my work. And so that was affirmation. And then you're unemployed. I've been unemployed for like 2 years at a time, trying to get a job desperately for a year or two at a time. Over the course of my career, there have been these 1 or 2 year stints where you're pitching and pitching and pitching and nothing. And it's almost, they're going to buy it. It's almost, and you got to just keep going. But the point is, there was enough affirmation that I kept going. And so you need that. You need passion. You need some talent. You need some affirmation that you're going to write. I tell people, if you go for 7 years with no affirmation, then you're an idiot. You should have quit 4 or 5 years ago. But you need to give it 7 years with a little bit of affirmation, and then you can keep going because you've got that affirmation. And then you're just kind of waiting to get struck by lightning. And the way to get struck by lightning is to just make sure you're running around in the rain out on the field. And by that, I mean getting internships, applying for assistant jobs, asking people to mentor you, joining a group of people that are doing what you want to do. If you want to be an actor, you should be taking acting classes. You should be, doing open mic nights. You should always be doing, ABD, always be doing, always be creating, ABC. If you're a writer, you should always be writing, just for yourself in your journal, whatever. If you're an actor, if you're a singer, you should always be singing. And you should do other things. Like I studied acting and singing and dance. I love the arts. But for me to direct, I need to understand choreography and lighting, and I need to understand acting and animation. I study it all. I'm not, as I said, jack of all trades. I'm not great at any of it. But some of my sketches have made it into the movie. I've given the sketches to a storyboard artist. Yeah, I get it. That's good. Yeah. And then he turns it into a beautiful, concept art that my artists can look. They can't look at my stuff. My stuff looks ridiculous. But my storyboard artists can get it. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of that. So hustle, hustle, hustle. Never give up. Never give up. And stay upbeat about it, because that's the last thing, most important thing, is develop your spiritual spine. You've got to have a foundation of belief in something. And I don't care if it's just belief in yourself. I am a big believer because of some 12-step work I've done, 12-step recovery work. I myself am not an addict, but I have a lot of addicts in my greater circle. And to help me deal with them, I found the study of this 12-step recovery stuff really helpful. And the first 3 steps are all about a higher power. And I don't care what it is. I just discovered the other day on my piano, because I'm learning how to play the piano, not any good, but I enjoy it, that the metronome in itself is a higher power. Just the click, click, click. If I don't listen to that, I'm off rhythm, and I collide with the people who I'm going to try and play with. Please.
I can definitely relate to that, especially because being in a music background, I'll listen to a band and people say this band is great. And it drives me crazy when I listen to a song and they're speeding up and slowing down through the song. That really drives me crazy. And then you listen.
It's hard not to do.
Yeah, and then you listen to musicians who are really, really fantastic musicians, and everything is just on. And I don't know how to say it in English. Anyways, it's stable. The music's stable. And so
consistent. There's a consistent rhythm.
Consistency. So this is really, really important. Well, that's
important in your life too.
Yeah.
And if you don't have some sort of metronome in your life, and instead you just follow your passions and your feelings, or your ideas,
and get drunk every night,
it's going to be a train wreck. And it's so hard for me. I just practice tapping my foot. And amazing, as soon as I add notes, my foot stops going at the right speed. I keep my foot at the right speed, the note's not going at the right speed. It's hard to stay with a consistent rhythm. Yeah. And that's true in careers, it's true in marriages, it's true in romance, it's true in friendship. So to figure out some sort of higher power, for me, it's the traditional God of the Jews and God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel going back for centuries. But it doesn't have to be that. In fact, in Judaism, we say that you don't have to have our God to be a good person and go to heaven. We don't run around looking for converts. People are welcome to join. But so find a higher power, and you need that, because when things go dark and they're not going your way and things are hard and you get discouraged, you need to know it's okay. And if you feel like there's even just the universe is on your side, and by the way, the universe is on your side. And if you doubt that, just notice there's still a universe. If the universe wasn't on your side, it would shut down. It would just stop being. It just keeps going. We don't know why. Scientists can't tell you why it's going.
I think it does that to teach us patience.
Could be. I don't know why it does it, but it does it. And you woke up this morning. If you woke up this morning, the universe is on your side. Because if it wasn't on your side, guess what? You'd be dead this morning. But you're not. You're here again. Every day I'm here, I say thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
Wow, David, that's great advice. Really, really great advice. This is
not original with me, by the way. It's ancient. It's ancient advice. It's not.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, not that many people even talk about this sort of subject, and I think I'm very happy that you did. And that's all the time we have for today. The 3rd episode of the Mike Rogers Show with David Nathan Weiss. And
Thank you, Michael. It was so great to be with you. I'm so glad we're here in Tokyo together after all these years. It's really a treat for me, and I really appreciate your friendship. You've been so helpful to me as I've been here, and I really enjoy hanging out with you.
Are you going anywhere over Golden Week? Over Obon?
I haven't made plans yet, but I think I am going to try and take some little trip somewhere. I haven't decided. Thinking about risking everything to get to Okinawa during typhoon season, just because it's good. It's good prices, and if it goes well, it's fantastic. And if it doesn't, oh well, you got a reasonable price trip, and you got to read a book in the rain.
Yeah, the only problem with going during Obon, if you come back when Obon ends, everything is so crowded. You won't believe it. It's like 400% capacity, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Right. And I am thinking about just staying here and then using my vacation time during the Jewish holidays of Sukkot, maybe heading over to Israel for a bit.
Well, if you're going to be here during Obon, maybe we can take my car and go drive somewhere and go check it out, because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can teach me how to drive again. It's been a while.
Yeah, okay. All right, so thanks so much to Nathan Weiss, friend from high school, famous director.
Thank you, Mike, famous rock show guy.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to check out the Mike Rogers Show. The links are down here. Links to some David's work will be down here too. So check it out, okay? See you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. David Weiss. Thank you so much. Famous writer and now a director, and he's directing in Japan. And if you want to know how to get into Hollywood, write to David Weiss and tell him Mike Rogers sent you. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Mike Rogers Show, links below. See you next time. Bye.